Welcome back to the deep dive. You sent us quite a fascinating piece of source material this week.
Yeah, it's centered around a testimonial, isn't it, for a product called Sleeplean.
That's the one.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful personal story, a big transformation.
Mhm.
And our mission today, well, it's to kind of unpack the claims and the narrative structure within that source.
It is compelling. I mean, not just the story itself, but the numbers they're throwing out there.
Right.
We're looking at someone reportedly going from, 223 pounds down to 154?
Yeah.
That kind of change. Well, it's huge. You have to pay attention to that.
You really do. And the how is what's so striking, I think. The main claim isn't about the usual sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
It's that this really significant long-term weight loss happened mainly by tackling the body's function during sleep.
Right, without the crash diets or endless cardio you normally hear about.
Exactly.
And what's interesting right from the start is how the source material tries to build trust. It speaks straight to that common feeling.
Being stuck.
Yeah, being stuck.
Yeah.
Promising something for the person who feels like they've tried, everything.
And they're just worn out by that cycle, right?
Yeah.
Losing weight, gaining it all back, plus maybe more. It's soul-crushing, as they put it.
That's the hook. The source positions itself as the answer for when, the standard eat less, move more model just hasn't worked for someone, maybe repeatedly.
Yeah, it's failed them.
So our focus has to be on analyzing that specific setup. What does this source material say is the real roadblock, the reason for those past failures?
And then how does this sleep lean formula claim to fix that by working differently on some kind of deeper level?
Exactly, on an internal level.
Okay, so let's unpack that struggle first, because that's the emotional core, isn't it? It makes the turnaround feel so much more significant.
Right.
The narrator starts by describing that feeling, being the funny friend, always in baggy clothes, trying to hide or deflect.
It's such a relatable starting point. It's smart rhetorically. They don't jump straight into metabolism. They start with vulnerability. Hating mirrors, avoiding beach days, weddings, photos, all that stuff.
It paints this picture of life getting smaller, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To sort of fit the body instead of the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. And the physical side they describe is pretty serious, too. Energy gone, high blood pressure mentioned.
Confidence non-existent.
Yeah.
It really sets the stakes high.
And then they list all the failed attempts. That really solidifies them as a trustworthy guide,
Like I've been where you are.
Precisely. They mention keto, fasting, gym challenges, detox teas. By listing all those common things, they're basically saying, look, I tried all the hard stuff you probably tried too.
And failed. It validates the listener's own struggles.
Right. And it highlights that cycle again, lose a bit, only to gain it all back.
It completely shifts the blame, doesn't it?
Mm.
If you tried all that and still failed, maybe the problem isn't your willpower.
Exactly. It can't be you. And that provides the perfect opening for the breakthrough.
The turning point.
So the source claims this big realization was that the struggle wasn't just about willpower, but about the body's systems kind of shutting down. Specifically, a slowed metabolism when stress and poor sleep kick in.
That's a huge psychological shift right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the narrator links it directly to their own experience.
Yeah.
Always tired, anxious, barely sleeping 5 hours a night.
Yeah.
So that constant exhaustion, that feeling of being drained, is suddenly framed as the real metabolic issue, not, the occasional slice of pizza.
Precisely. And for the listener, imagine the relief that offers. So the appeal of the solution becomes, well, it wasn't about more punishment or starving yourself.
It was about helping the body.
Helping the body do what it's meant to do. That phrasing is key. It takes the responsibility off pure discipline and puts it onto sort of internal system support and repair.
Which is the perfect setup for introducing the product itself.
Right.
So now we get to Sleeplean. The source introduces it as this all-natural formula designed to, quote, eliminate excess body fat while maintaining long-term results.
And the big selling point, the thing they keep emphasizing, is that it works with your body, not against it in that constant, exhausting fight.
Okay, so let's break down the mechanism they actually claim.
Yep.
What's it supposed to do?
Well, when you piece together the functional claims, the cleverness isn't really in the detailed chemistry, which they keep pretty vague, actually. It's more about the combination of promises. It targets 3 main things. 1, it helps you rest better. 2, it balances hormones. And 3, it supports natural fat burning, specifically during sleep.
Fat burning while you sleep. I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? Passive effort, maximum efficiency.
Exactly.
But let's pause on that middle one, balancing hormones. We hear that phrase a lot in health marketing, often when specific details are, let's say, scarce. How does the source frame that without getting specific?
It's framed as kind of overall systemic support. The argument essentially goes, chronic stress and poor sleep, the exact issues they highlighted in the narrator's life, throw your internal systems out of whack. They unbalance things, preventing your body from doing its job, like burning fat efficiently. So by promising hormone balance, they're offering this, sophisticated sounding fix.
It validates that feeling the user might have, that something inside is genuinely broken or off-kilter, not just that they lack willpower.
Exactly. It gives the feeling of failure a sort of scientific-sounding reason. It lets the user trust the process because it seems based on science, even if the nuts and bolts aren't laid out.
So it externalizes the failure again, which must be incredibly powerful for someone who feels like they've tried everything and maybe feels flawed themselves.
Absolutely potent. And the source keeps reinforcing the benefit. No crazy restrictions, no endless cardio. It positions the product as the smarter, easier path. Not harder, smarter.
And they try to back this with some authority, right?
Yeah.
Mentioning real science.
Yeah, they claim it's based on real science and supports the body's own systems, especially during rest and recovery. It's the ultimate message of hope, really. Your system wants to work. It just needs this specific support to overcome those modern roadblocks like stress and lack of sleep.
It's a really neat package. Identifies the pain, offers a specific solution, and validates the whole struggle.
The whole narrative arc.
Okay, so let's get to the payoff. The story needs results to close that loop, moving from the emotional struggle to something tangible.
Right, and they give a specific timeline, which is clever. It lets the listener imagine their own potential success timeline.
What do they claim happened first?
The initial results were designed to be quick and encouraging. Within the first few weeks, the narrator claims they woke up feeling lighter, jeans fitting better, energy coming back.
That quick feedback loop is vital, isn't it, to keep people engaged and sticking with it?
Absolutely, builds momentum. But the bigger win, the sustained change, came later. By month 2, they claim the weight was really coming off, and crucially, without me feeling deprived.
And then they circle back to the big numbers.
Yes, 223 pounds down to 154. That's a 69-pound loss they're reporting.
Which is massive.
But here's the really subtle, important part. They emphasize that the ultimate achievement wasn't just losing it, but actually keeping it off.
Right. Directly addressing that yo-yo dieting problem they set up at the start.
Exactly. It frames the product not just as a diet aid, but as a kind of permanent metabolic fix or recalibration.
And beyond the scale numbers, what about the other payoffs? The source makes it clear the goal isn't just weight, it's getting your life back.
Absolutely. The narrator talks about gaining myself back, starting to go out more, wearing old favorite clothes again.
Feeling confident.
Feeling confident around their partner, around friends. That recovery of social life and self-assurance, that's presented as the real measure of success in this story.
And that confidence naturally leads to people noticing, right? The social proof aspect.
Yes, friends starting to ask, what are you doing? That's where the individual story starts to feel like it could become a shared experience, a movement even.
And they lean into that.
Oh, yeah. The source mentions a whole community of people supposedly sharing similar transformations. Moms, dads, people who'd struggled for years, all apparently saying the same thing. It finally worked. I feel like myself again.
The power in that kind of shared testimony is just immense, isn't it?
It really is. Because if it supposedly worked for all these different people who'd failed with traditional methods before...
The implication is that the underlying problem, that metabolic block from poor sleep and stress, must be pretty universal.
Right, and therefore the solution could work for almost anyone, no matter their history or body type. It creates this sense of an aspirational group.
The group that finally cracked the code.
Yeah, the ones who figured out the secret wasn't more effort, it was better rest.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this narrative mean for someone listening, maybe facing their own big challenge? The narrator ends with a pretty strong call to action.
Very strong, almost urgent, they say. If you've been feeling stuck, you have to see this short video explaining how it works.
The urgency is interesting.
It's designed to stop the listener from making what the narrator frames as their own past mistake. Waiting, trying other things for years first. Get to the real solution now.
So if we synthesize the key takeaway from this source material purely from analyzing its narrative, it's that fundamental shift in focus, isn't it?
Absolutely. It pivots completely away from the usual ideas of Effort, restriction, punishment, things often linked to short-term results, but long-term burnout or failure.
And instead, it points towards internal support, rest, recovery.
Yeah. So if you listening are tackling any complex goal, maybe it is weight, maybe it's a huge project, maybe changing a deep habit, what really stands out here is the value this narrative places on helping the system.
Whether that system is your body, your workflow, whatever.
Right, helping it do what it's meant to do instead of constantly forcing it through sheer willpower and strain.
It sort of challenges that whole no pain, no gain idea head on.
Yeah, it swaps it out for something like a rest, recover, and achieve narrative.
Which leads us perfectly into our final thought for you to think about. Given that this specific narrative successfully frames chronic fatigue and poor sleep as the main culprits, the key barriers to metabolic function and long-term success.
The root cause, according to them.
Exactly. So here's the question to mull over. If the biggest obstacle to your long-term success isn't what you eat or how much you move, but maybe just how well you rest, what fundamental part of your daily life might you be overlooking right now in your own quest for transformation?
Something to consider as you wind down tonight.
And hey, if this story really made you think, and you're curious to see how Sleep Lean actually works, I've added the link down in the description. Go check it out after this episode. It's a short video that explains everything in a super simple way. Honestly, it might just change how you think about weight loss.